One of the interesting things about keeping a diary, especially electronic diaries, I've been keeping a diary. It's not really a diary. It's a database. It's an Evernote database. And when I first started it in 2009, I just started saving articles to it. And now I've amassed this huge database of information. It's my own personal internet. So this morning I was thinking about nudges. Now, there was a book that came out in 2013, I think, by Cass Sunstein with the title of Nudge. I don't know why I was thinking about it, but it was a note in my database about doing a piece on nudges. And then I ran a search in Evernote, and I have articles going back to 2010 talking about nudging in a lot of different ways, especially nudging with technology using notifications, algorithms, and stuff like that. But what's remarkable about digital text is that you can amass a lot of it, and you can go back and do searches and then collect that information and shape that again, and then on and on. It's a recursive process. And I think recursion is also an interesting idea, because our minds are recursive in some way. It's always connecting to something else. It's winnowing down, it's narrowing. Last night I watched an old video from the 1980s. It was about Peter Gabriel when he was working on the Security album and his creative process during that time. And it's a winnowing process. It's a narrowing of possibilities. It's making things as a wireframe and then keep shaping it and reshaping it like you would shape a piece of stone. And then in the end, the piece is performed live. And you see all those little steps in there where he made little nudges that push it in this direction or that direction. And then it's also recursive in the sense that it's taking a set and then doing something to the set, splitting it in many ways, and then saving all that. So this is sort of what I'm doing with text in Evernote. It's just a mass of information that can be searched, and then it can be reshaped. And then in the end, you have a final essay or a piece or something like that, and that gets added. So now Peter Gabriel amassed a lot of recordings. He recorded everything. He had the band come in and jam for a couple of hours. He saved all that. To some extent, it just becomes too much unless you can have access to it. And I think he has someone on staff that archives all that stuff, which is kind of cool, because in the future they can go back and research all that. So I know it seems kind of anal to people that you're collecting all this information, but some people do it, and I think it's a useful function in society that people are gleaners and they're saving all this stuff, and then people can come back in the future and use it and reshape it. That's the weird thing now, is that it's the reshaping in the future is getting into deep fake area, so you don't know the veracity of the information without somebody speaking for it. But that's the crux of the matter. That's the crux of history, is that people are amassing things and people are going back and looking at it, but it's deracinated. It's pulled out of its roots, and there's nobody there to talk about it. But that's been covered too, because you have people actually talking. I'm talking now, and it's going to be posted on YouTube, and I might make an audio version of it. So, but who has the time to do all that stuff? But it's an important function.